What's up, guys? It's Destiny back here with another video. You're watching the Decimania channel on YouTube. Your destination for all things professional wrestling. And today is Tuesday, which means we have another classic TNA pay-per-view review. I was gonna do another Against All Odds pay-per-view, but then I saw what happened on Raw with AJ Styles last night, which I'll probably make a video later this week discussing that, with him going into the Hall of Fame. But I saw that and I was like, you know what, let's do No Surrender 2009, because he won his first TNA branded World Heavyweight Championship at that pay-per-view. So we'll get right into this. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you won't miss any new content. Check out some of my other videos. I got a whole TNA playlist. I have some other playlists up there if you'd like to see them. Some action figure playlists and things like that. So if you want to give my channel a look and support the channel, please help me with that if you could. I'd really appreciate it. Alright. No Surrender 2009 took place on September 20th, 2009. It's a pretty good pay-per-view. Talk about it. We had 9 matches on this card. First match we had was to determine the new and first ever TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions. This was Taylor Wilde and Sarita versus the Beautiful People's Madison Rayne and Velvet Sky. I believe Angelina Love wasn't on. I think she left TNA at this point for a bit, and then she would come back later. But Sarita and Taylor Wilde ended up winning this match. Then we had a backstage interview with Sarita and Taylor Wilde. We had a backstage interview with Eric Young, who was getting ready for his match with Hernandez. He was trying to get Hernandez to join him in World Elite, and he kept saying, I'm not going to fight my brother, I'm not going to fight my brother. So he kept trying to get it in his head that Hernandez was going to, or he was just going to sacrifice himself to Hernandez, and that's exactly what happened. Eric Young comes out. Next match is him versus Hernandez. Hernandez comes out and he just freaking annihilates Eric Young. And we would see Hernandez again later. So stay tuned for that. Basically, Hernandez won that match. It wasn't even like 5 minutes. So that happened. Really good match on the card. X Division title match between Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels. Of course, this is when Samoa Joe was doing his whole Nation of Violence gimmick. I will try to get a Samoa Joe figure this year and review it. I want to get a couple of TNA figures. I don't know, I might get all of them. Well, not the Genesis style one, but the other ones. But I mean, this match was good. You can never go wrong with Joe and Daniels. Daniels ended up submitting. Then we had a Falls Count Anywhere match. This was kind of cool how they set this up. You had the Pope, D'Angelo Dinero, a.k.a. Elijah Burke, versus Suicide. Yeah, great name choice. That's nice. I like the wrestler, I just don't like, I like him, I just don't like, it's awkward. I don't know. I'm kind of glad he changed his name to Manic. So, yeah. He's facing D'Angelo Dinero, and the Pope. He's in the back giving an interview, and Suicide comes in and attacks him from behind, so it's false count anywhere. So they brawl in the back for a little bit, and the Pope ends up winning the match because Suicide goes up to the top of the you know what? I'm just gonna call him Manic throughout the rest of this, because it's just weird. Manic goes up to the top, and he's on this wall. He got Pope down on the table, and Pope rolls out of the way. He goes crashing through the table, and Pope ends up pinning him for the win. Okay. We have Knockouts Championship action. This was probably a Vince Russo idea. Cody Deaner versus ODB for the Knockouts Championship. Wasn't Cody Deaner like ODB's manager or something at some point, and then he somehow won the Knockouts Championship? I don't know how that happened, but ODB gets the title. And the less said about this match, the better. Like, I like ODB, and I like Cody Deaner, but this is just weird. Okay, next match. Oh yeah, we had a backstage interview with Mick Foley, where he shows Jeremy Borash this picture that was in his office. We would later find out that Abyss accidentally knocked it off of the wall or whatever when he was going in to get Mick Foley's bat to try to help him. That was a pretty good rivalry, I guess. Kind of wish it would have lasted a little longer. I don't know, but frick. We had Kevin Nash versus Abyss for the TNA Legends Championship. I actually really like that belt. I have all 6 of the Jakks TNA action figure belts, and I think that one's my favorite. Either that one or the X Division tag team titles ain't half bad either. Actually, all TNA's belts were not bad back then. Don't know what the other ones or the current ones look like, but Mick Foley was on commentary for that match, and he tried to go in and help Abyss. He gives him a baseball bat, and Stevie Richards, or Dr. Stevie, comes out, and then there's a point in the match where Daphne comes out, rest in peace. She comes out with a taser, and Abyss just chokeslams her, or gives it a black hole slam or something. My eyes are watering now. Hold on. It happens. Kevin Nash ends up winning this match. I don't know. I've never really been a big fan of Kevin Nash. I mean, he was alright in TNA. I don't know. Yeah. Then we had this is a rare thing, we had a Lethal Lockdown match on a pay-per-view other than Lockdown. I think the only other time that this happened was on Bound for Glory 2010, I believe. And then, yeah, and this one, we had the British Invasion, which was Doug Williams and Magnus they were teaming up with the Main Event Mafia's Scott Steiner and Booker T, who did a backstage interview before this match. So Main Event Mafia and British Invasion versus Team 3D and Beer Money. Beer Money and Company got the win in this match. This was an okay Lethal Lockdown match. I mean, I think the favorite part of the match was when Beer Money gave Magnus a suplex onto the cage. Not the best Lethal Lockdown match I've seen, but it was It was okay. It wasn't bad. Then we had Rhino versus Bobby Lashley. This was an interesting match, short but sweet. Rhino gave a post-match interview, or pre-match interview, and then came out. This was a pretty cool sequence where Rhino goes to gore Lashley, and Lashley just knocks him out for the pin. Lashley wins that match. Did I say Beer Money won the, Beer Money and Team 3D won that match? I think it did, but if I didn't, they won. Main Event Mafia was almost done at this point. Like, I think by either Bound for Glory or Turning Point, they were done. I'm not really sure, but, wow. Then main event. We had little intro video packages for each of them before they came out. Like, they would have someone do a video package, someone would come out, and then they'd do it again, and etc. So we had AJ Styles, Kurt Angle, the defending champion, Matt Morgan, and Sting. So, daggone. They're all in the ring, and they're getting ready to introduce Kurt Angle, and Hernandez's music hits. And he comes out. I actually have a problem with some of this match, because Hernandez comes out, and he gets on the mic, and he's like, I didn't come to No Surrender to wrestle for 5 minutes or whatever. And he said, I'm cashing in my Feast or Fired TNA World Title shot. And I was like, okay, that's cool, because I've seen this match before. The first time I saw it, this was my reaction. And then I watched it, and I was like, I have a problem with this. And here's the reason why I have a problem with this. Not that Hernandez was cashing in. But if you were going to do the cash-in, why did you not actually have him wrestle in the match for longer than he did? Or how about just not have Eric Young come out and do what he did? Like, I like Eric Young. Don't get me wrong. I do. But for the sake of booking and stuff, I would not have had him in this. If you want to continue the rivalry with him and, actually, no, scratch that. If you were going to do that, I would have had Eric Young come out and attack him before the bell could ring. Not ring the bell. Don't ring the bell. Because what that does is make that look stupid. That was a waste of time. I'm fine with Hernandez cashing in and everything, and I wish he would have won the world title, but there was a cool spot where he held Kurt Angle up in the air for like 25, 30 seconds and dropped him down on the mat, and then he was going to go for the border toss, and then Eric Young comes out, hits him with some kind of nightstick or billy club or something, and gives him a power driver on the ramp or the concrete. And he's just laying out there for a few minutes, and I'm thinking, when I'm watching this back, earlier, I was like, whether this is like storyline or not, fiction or not, why are there no people like running down there to check on him? Like, he could have broken his neck on that pile driver. Like, I get it was a storyline and he probably took it well, but like, logically, if I'm watching that, I'm gonna go down there and like check on him and see what happened. I don't know, but he got taken out. Hernandez did, and he's out of the match. If you were going to do that, I wouldn't have had the bell ring. I would have had Hernandez do what he did, come out and have him cash in. And I would have had, before he goes to get in the ring, I would have had Eric Young do what he did. So then you have a reason to do Eric Young versus Hernandez on like an Impact or something. I don't know. But then you could have got him his revenge or whatever, and whatever. Because by the time the next month of Bound for Glory, he was just out of the title picture. Like, that Pizza Fired thing was just a waste of time. I didn't like that. Didn't they do it with him when he first won it too? Or something? I don't remember. But anyway, back to this freaking match. Sorry. I went off on a tangent. I had a problem with that. But the rest of this match was really good. Matt Morgan, another one who should have been a world champion, just like Hernandez. Funny thing is, they ended up winning the tag team titles, didn't they? I think they did. But AJ, Matt Morgan, Kurt Angle, and Sting, they had a really good match here. AJ ended up winning. So I like this sequence here where Sting's about to get the pin on Kurt Angle, but then he decides to go out to the floor and deal with Matt Morgan. He's telling AJ go up top. AJ hits the 450 splash and wins the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And then they had Christopher Daniels come out, and a lot of the fans got in the ring, and it was just really cool, you know? I remember they did that with Christian Cage's world title win. I think I forgot to mention that on my Against All Odds review. But they got in the ring with him too and celebrated with Rhino and them. But pretty good pay-per-view. Pretty okay. Not the best one I've seen. I liked a couple of matches on here. I had a problem with the whole Hernandez Feet Are Fired cash in. I thought that was kind of botched. I didn't really like it. I wish that would have been done better. I definitely would have put the belt on him at some point. I don't know. Like, it was just weird. But the rest of the show was okay. I mean, there was some weird spots on it. But other than that, for the most part, it was pretty good. We're going to be doing some Destination X pay-per-view reviews. Or possibly Victory Road. I haven't decided yet. But that'll be starting next Tuesday. So I'll see you guys then. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this pay-per-view review. What did you think of it? What did you think of the pay-per-view if you've watched it? It's on TNA Plus if you're going to go watch it without ads. That's what I recommend you doing. If you don't want to watch it with ads. So that's No Surrender 2009. And I'll see you guys later this week. Sure, we'll be up here doing some more TNA related stuff. And I'll see you guys then. Peace. Thank you for watching. And God bless you.